What is up, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite place to talk movies. I'm your host, Luce, and this is Real Talk, Off Script. So today, we are finally reviewing the Odyssey. I've been talking about this movie for I don't know how long. If you've been an avid listener to the show, you guys have known that I've talked about how excited I am to see the Odyssey, how big of a movie I think it's going to be, and just me wishing and hoping that this is going to actually live up to the hype. So today I'm going to give you guys my review for that. I do have some other topics that I'm going to get into as well later on in the show, but we are going to start the top of the show off with the review for the Odyssey. Now, once again, I've told you guys plenty of times before, if you listen to my podcast, I don't really like to bury the lead when I give you guys reviews. I like to kind of give you what I thought about the film and then tell you why I felt however I felt about it. So just to start this review off, I'm going to let you guys know this movie is fucking amazing. This movie is literally one of the best movies I think I've personally ever seen. And I've seen a shit ton of movies, believe it or not. I'm hoping that I get all of my thoughts in order while I'm giving this review because I'm really going off the top of the dome with this. To be completely honest, I didn't write a lot of notes down. I did see the movie last night. This is actually Friday when I'm recording this. So let me give you guys just a couple of my thoughts that I can just think of off the top of my head from what I actually felt about this movie. So once again, this movie is fucking amazing. This is for sure top of my list for the best movie of the year so far, and that's saying a lot. We got Project Hail Mary, we got the Sheep Detectives, we got Obsession, Backrooms, The Invite last weekend, which I had in my number one spot before this one came out. But just to go down some of the things that I just remember from the movie that I made mental notes of, I want to go off the top and just say like the craftsmanship. This is literally like craftsmanship at its highest level when it comes to filmmaking. Like curation, like the attention to like the smallest of details, like the some of the even the camera shots in this movie that I could just pick up on. I'm like, wow, Christopher Nolan, and I don't know who the cinematographer is, who actually like shot the majority of this movie. I don't know. I didn't look that up to see who that was, but they was in when I say they was in a fucking bag. Like this is one of the most beautiful movies just to look at. Like you could just watch this movie on mute and just be in awe of what you're seeing on screen. Like that's definitely something that excuse me, while I was watching, I was like, this is a master level cinematographer and director going hand in hand, and like from everything from the set design, the costume design, the sound design, like the score was amazing, and I didn't know actually, and I know I'm just bouncing off the walls of this. Like I said, I'm going off the top of the dome with this review, but I did not know that the person who scored this movie is actually the same person that scored Sinners. I actually believe he actually scored The Mandalorian as well. I know his name is Ludwig. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not even gonna try. I know I'm gonna butcher it, but his name is Ludwig. That dude, like, he's already gotten Oscars for his work. Like, he's already gotten Oscars for his music, and he's actually even produced for musicians like rappers. Like, there's a Childish Gambino song that I really love, and he actually produced that song as well. So this guy he's been one of those guys for real. Like there's one particular scene that's actually in it's in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler. But there's a scene where Odysseus is in Hades and he's just speaking to a lot of of course, dead people and lost souls or whatever in Hades. And like, I feel like, and I said this on Threads as well. If you guys have Threads or a Threads account, go follow Real Talk Off Script on there as well. That's when I talk a lot of movies that I don't get to talk about on the podcast. But that scene in Hades with Odysseus was there and speaking with a lot of the people who had died, when I say that's the perfect mixture of score, cinematography, costume design, and just everything, like it was just a certain ambiance in that scene that I haven't really gotten from a lot of movies. The most recent movie that I can think of off the top of my head that I got that feeling from is probably Dune 2 years ago, and I'm hoping we get more of that in Dune 3 later this year. But anyway, that's off topic. But just that scene alone, like, and there's another scene as well, where the sound design for me, like, really just jumped off the fucking screen, and like you feel like you were there. Just how everything in the movie was just thumping from a sound design standpoint, and that was the scene where also in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, where the Cyclops enters that fucking cave that they're in. Oh my god, like melted my brain. Like this, the Odyssey. I cannot stress this enough. This is one of the best movies that have released in the last 5 to 10 years. I know it's gonna sound hyperbolic. I know it's gonna sound like, this is a lot of recency bias, but no, I watched that movie last night from a very critical standpoint. Only because I understand this is a Christopher Nolan film. This is supposed to be one of the big, you know, Oscar babies for later. Well, not later this year, but the beginning of next year. This is gonna be one of those movies. So I'm watching with my real critical hat on. And I've told you guys before, I like to just go into movies and watch it, and I kind of give you guys how I felt about it, like the feel that it gave me. I try not to be too critical when I see a lot of movies. But this is going to be one of those films that people are saying this is going to be an Oscar darling and go ahead and give this person the award or that person the award. I'm going to watch from a very critical standpoint. Like I'm going to have my critic hat on. I had it on. I watched this movie from beginning to end. I combed through it with a fine-tooth comb. There's really nothing that I could say negative about this movie. Like I really tried to find things that I did not like or things that I feel like they could have improved on, or maybe the dialogue here was no, like it's I don't give perfect scores. I don't even score movies really when I review them. If I was to give this movie a score, it would be like a 9.5 out of 10. Like it's one of those kind of movies. Like it's so many things that I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it. Even though this is a 2,000 to 3,000 year old story, I just don't want to give away how the film makes you feel when you're watching it. So I kind of want you guys to go see it. I don't want to give too much away, but like I said, like this just from a craftsmanship standpoint, like this movie is literally like it's almost perfect. It really is. There's so many memorable scenes, like I, do I really want to get okay? So for sure, the Cyclops scene, what the fuck, melted my brain. The scene in Hades, when they actually show you the fall of Troy, when they and that's something that you don't even get till really later in the film. They allude to it a lot throughout the film, but once you actually get to see the fall of Troy from kind of beginning to end, from once they bring in the Trojan horse, of course, and then we know the story. It's not really a spoiler, but once the Trojan horse gets in there, and then the soldiers come out and they go to battle, what the fuck? Like that was another amazing scene. All the scenes where they're actually on the quote unquote Odyssey, like on the ships, on the boats, and they're out at sea, and all the whirlpool scene, the scene with the sirens. Like it's so many different. There's so many things that I could talk about from this movie, and that's what really, after I saw it, made me realize that was one of the better films that I think I've ever seen. Because usually, I was actually talking to my brother before I recorded this pod today, and I was telling him like usually with like really good films, there's like two and at tops maybe three scenes where it's like it's really memorable. You'll always remember how you felt or where you were when you saw that scene. There's literally like 8 of those in this movie. Like there's so many scenes that I want to get into, but I don't want to spoil anything because I understand that there are some liberties that Christopher Nolan took with this movie and with this story. This is not a straight up and down rendition of the Odyssey, but it is pretty similar to the actual story. But he did take some liberties here or there, and I kind of want you guys to experience it on your own. I don't want to be the one to spoil it for you, but like there is literally, like I said, this isn't like a 2 or 3 scene standout kind of movie. Like there is literally 8 or 9 scenes that if I could right now and if I wanted to, I could talk about and go from top to bottom and just tell you guys like why I was just like foaming at the mouth watching it. Like this movie is what cinema is supposed to be. This movie is how cinema is supposed to make you feel in every way, shape, or form. Like, oh my, and every scene that we even got from the trailers, like I said, we're just trying not to spoil you guys. Every scene from the trailer, and there were some that were in the trailer that like the way that because like I was telling my brother as well, these trailer houses, when they make these trailers, they don't. A lot of times they'll clip different snippets here. They'll take a sound bite from this scene and put it here, insert it here to make it kind of give off a certain vibe. But when you see the movie, you see it's completely different. The Hades scene in the trailer compared to how it plays out in the fucking movie, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what we were gonna be experiencing. And once we saw that shit on the big screen, like I can't put into words how good this movie is. Like I really can't. So if you haven't understood by now, this is for sure a movie that I'm giving a loose approves, 100%. Please go out and see this movie as soon as you possibly can. See this on the biggest screen that you can possibly see it on. Unfortunately, I live in a little town. Like I said, well, it's not a small town, but this isn't one of the major cities. I think my closest 70 millimeter theater, well, a theater that has 70 millimeter showings. I believe it's like 4 hours away from me, so I probably won't be seeing this in 70 millimeter IMAX form, how Christopher Nolan intended us to see it. But I did see it in XD and Cinemark, and I feel like it was a pretty good showing, if you ask me. Like, I've seen all the live max comparisons to real IMAX, and you see, oh, is this much is cut off? Nah, it wasn't a lot of shit cut off in my showing, to be completely honest. Like, I think I got a pretty good viewpoint of what Christopher Nolan really wanted us to see. But like I said, I definitely give this a loose approves. I really want you guys to go out and see this on your own and come back to this review so you can understand that I wasn't really blowing smoke up y'all ass. This is one of those movies. This is one of the big dogs, like I told y'all in my last video. This is one of the big dogs. And I'm just really, really glad that this movie lived up to the hype. I know a lot of people try to hate on it on the internet for all kind of stupid reasons and stuff like that. Nah, if you take off your idiot hat and just go watch this movie just from anybody that just loves cinema, you're going to really enjoy this movie. Probably as much as I did, if not even more. But I really want to talk more about this, but I don't want to make this review too long. But like I said, from top to bottom, this is an amazing movie. For me, it's top 3 Christopher Nolan, like, for sure. It's top 3. I don't know where I put it in the 3 yet. I need to see it a couple more times before I can really say that. But just off one viewing, this is for sure top 3 Christopher Nolan. This is him at his best. I think you guys would really enjoy it. But that's my review for the Odyssey. I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I hope I got my thoughts out as best as I possibly could, and I hope you guys aren't confused. But yeah, this is definitely one that you want to go see. So go down in the comments. I want you guys to let me know if this is something that you guys are excited to go see. Have you already seen it and you're coming to my review just because you want to have a dialogue about it? That's cool as well. But whatever you guys are feeling, I want you to go down in the comments and let me know below. All right. So moving on from the Odyssey, there was something else that happened this week, and it's a bummer. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's something else that happened this week. Pretty bummed out about it. If you guys are on the internet and if you're into film just as much as I am, which I would hope you are, because you are listening to this podcast that's about film. But there was some major news that actually went down the other day, and it was actually about the Batman 2. So, not only did we get some bummer news for the Batman 2, let's get into the good news first. So there is good news and there is bad news. The good news is we got a new teaser for the Batman 2. Now, it was a very small sneak peek. I'll say that. It's a very, very small sneak peek. But a new look nonetheless. So that was pretty cool. But there was an interesting tidbit at the end of that video, the end of that teaser that was released the other day. And you probably heard it by now. You might not have. But at the end of this teaser, there was a release date for the movie. Now, mind you, last time I checked, this movie was supposed to be coming out October next year. Once you got to the end of the teaser, they pulled the rug out right from under us. No, this movie is not coming out in October next year anymore. They actually moved it to 2028. And with that being said, I want to say this is probably, off the top of my head, this is either the 3rd or the 4th delay. Because actually, if I remember right, I think this movie was supposed to come out last year. I think it was supposed to come out in 2025. Then it got pushed back to this year. Then it got pushed back to October 2027. And I honestly can't remember when that delay happened as far as it being pushed to next year in October. I don't remember when that happened. I just remember it was a whole thing even then. But now, after getting this teaser, which I'll get into the quality of the teaser later. But after getting that teaser and seeing at the end this is actually being pushed to February of 2028. Now, mind you, I will say, it's not being delayed by that much. But if you look at it from the standpoint of this movie was originally supposed to be released in 2025, and now we're getting in 2028. Yeah, I know it's only a couple of months being pushed back, but my thing is, like, how many times can we, like, this movie is starting to become the new Grand Theft Auto 6 meme. Like, well, now I could actually say we would have got Grand Theft Auto 6 way before we got the Batman 2, which is a joke in itself. But yeah, I mean, for one, I didn't even expect, because the Batman 2 is filming right now, which is another weird thing. We got a movie that's filming right now, like right now, present time, that we're not gonna get for a whole nother 2 years. That's weird. It's usually they film a movie. It usually takes depending on how big the movie is, it takes a couple of months for them to film it. I would assume they're using a lot of practical effects. I know there was a lot of practical effects in the first The Batman, from 2022. Of course, there's a lot of CGI as well, but a lot of practical stuff. But you have to think about them filming it. You got to think about them editing it, and you got to think about all the CGI elements that go into it. And then you also, of course, have to think about marketing and all the other shit leading up to the release date. But even still, if this is a movie that's being filmed right now in July 2026, there's no reason why it should be released in 2 years from now. It usually is not that long of a turnaround. And not to mention, it's very rare. And I know I saw a lot of people on the internet saying, oh, it's not that rare for a sequel to come out, years and years after a major movie or something like that, which is true. There are some exceptions to that, like The Incredibles, for instance, came out, and I want to say 2004 or 2005. We didn't get the sequel to 2017ish, 2018ish, something like that. Yeah, that happens, but that usually only happens when there was no intention on there ever being a sequel. We kind of knew that the Batman, of course, if it did well, which it did, it made 700+ million dollars. I don't remember the actual, the specific dollar amount, but it was up there. If I'm somebody over there and I'm a studio head over there at Warner Brothers, I'm not gonna want to wait 6 years to get a follow up to a movie that not gross, but made $700 million at the box office. Yeah, I'm gonna want to get that out sooner rather than later. So I'm still and I know there was behind the scenes stuff, like Matt Reeves. I think he had health issues or something like that, or some kind of familial issue. So I understand that shit happens. Like if anything gets in the way as far as real life, you're gonna have to push back your work. That's understood. 6 fucking years. The last one came out in 2022. We're not getting this until 2028. Could you imagine if, for instance, let's say the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I know I go to that a lot, but that's a major blockbuster. That movie, the original one, came out in 2022, I believe, in May. Could you imagine if the next one didn't come out until 2008? That just sounds weird, doesn't it? Like we literally got a whole trilogy within that span. From 2002 to 2007, we got a whole Spider-Man trilogy. If you want to look at it from another point of view, look how long it took for Christopher Nolan's Batman, since we just talked about Christopher Nolan as well. The first one came out in 2005. We got the second one in 2008. And I believe we got the third one in 2012. Off the top of my head, I believe that's how it went. But even still, there was a couple of years in between, but there was no 6 year time span between the first one and the second one. That's just not how it works. But like I keep saying, I know there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes for this movie. Shit happens. Matt Reeves had stuff with his family or himself. I know they haven't really told us exactly what was going on. But the funny thing about this, ironically enough, this movie is actually being delayed to push up another film, which is weird as well. I think it's a movie starring, I think, Glenn Powell, or I think I remember reading. It's called The Great Beyond. So essentially that movie is being moved up. It's being bumped up from November 13th of 2000. Well, I'm sorry, it's actually being delayed. So it's being moved from this year, for November this year, to the actual release date for what the Batman 2 was supposed to get. The Batman Part 2, I should say, was supposed to get next year. Mind you, now you guys can correct me. I don't think The Great Beyond is like a big movie. I haven't heard about it. I don't remember seeing any trailers or hearing about it or anything like that. I don't personally remember anybody talking about it from CinemaCon or anything like that. But usually it's for a movie as big as the Batman, that's usually a movie like that is usually the one doing all the muscle and moving people around. Nah, your movie is gonna move because my movie is gonna be here on this date. Not the other way around, which is another weird thing for me. It's so we're moving the Batman to later. So The Great Beyond, another Glenn Powell and Jenna Ortega, I think she's in as well. So that movie can get a spot. That usually does not work that way. It usually be The Great Beyond is sitting in a spot, and the Batman says, no, you move until next year, and I'm taking your spot. That's usually how it works. So this is all just confusing to me. I'm not in the know as far as well, not really. I'm not really in the know when it comes to the behind the scenes stuff in Hollywood. Every once in a while I get a tidbit that I heard, a rumor or something like that from some of the people or outlets that I read into or look at. But I don't really understand what the fuck is going on with the Batman 2. Like I said, the whole GTA 6 meme that everybody talks about on the internet. We would have literally gotten GTA 6 and had it for a year and some change. A good year and some change before we get the Batman 2. That is insane. That's insanity to me. But yeah, The moral of the story is we got another goddamn delay for the Batman Part 2. And I was really excited for this movie because I love the original The Batman. Like that's literally one of the best superhero movies to me. I wouldn't say it's like top 10 or anything like that, but it's for sure top 25, like no question about it. It's top 25 for sure. And the more I watch it, the higher and higher I rank it, to be completely honest. It's probably the second best movie regarding Batman, I'll say. And that's only behind The Dark Knight. And depending on the day, I might flip-flop those, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, we got good news. Like as far as actually now I'm talking about it. Let's get into the actual teaser itself. So the teaser itself is really short. I believe it's maybe a 20-second long video, something like that, and it's literally just you got that Batman score again, which is a beautiful, amazing score. The music in that movie is it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I love the music in that movie. But we essentially just got Batman. He's standing in the snow essentially, and he turns around and looks at the camera, and then you got to fade to black, which then we get that we get that delay. We get the bad news, as far as the good news, bad news. But yeah, the from everything that we see, of course, this is going to be another movie that's handled with care. This is going to be another one as far as like kind of how I went over with the Odyssey. Like this is going to be another movie where you can see like the craftsmanship from start to bottom, just like how you did with the first Batman. Like that was somebody who had a clear vision in mind that went in, filmed it, and fucking executed on every level. This is gonna be the sequel of that original, and it's gonna be on the same type of time. If you ask me, like you can clearly see just from that 20-second video, this is gonna be another amazing movie in this new The Batman series. The only thing is we shouldn't have to wait 6 years, and but by the time we get a third one, if we even do, it'll probably be 2039. Like who knows at this point. But yeah, good news, bad news. We got a new Batman teaser. Bad news, we got another Batman delay. So I want to know what you guys think about it. Are you guys as bummed as I am about it? Because like, man, that really took the wind out of me for what was going to be an amazing week for film. That was bad news. I wasn't expecting another Batman delay. But I keep saying are you guys as bummed about this as I am? If you are, go down in the comments. Maybe we can all hold hands, talk about it together, and hopefully get through this together. But yeah, go down in the comments, let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. All right. So moving on from the Odyssey and the Batman delay, I do have one more topic that I want to get into. This might be a quick topic, it might not, but there is a lot of things that play with this one. So I kind of want to talk about it and get, a good idea how you guys feel about it as well. So this upcoming week is, like I said, this is Friday, July 17th when I'm recording this. So next week is San Diego Comic-Con. For y'all that don't know, San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest Comic-Con, and there's New York Comic-Con, San Diego, whatever. San Diego that's the big boy. That's big bro. That's the big brother. So there's a lot of things that go down at that convention that doesn't just solely involve comics. You have a lot of stuff that goes on there as well as far as movies, of course. So next week is San Diego Comic-Con, like I just stated. We are supposedly getting at Hall H, and Hall H is like, that's where you get all the crazy news. That's when all the biggest news from San Diego Comic-Con comes from Hall H. So that's next week. Marvel is going to be present. Marvel as in the MCU, Disney's MCU, Marvel, all that good shit. You guys get what I'm going. So essentially they are going to be there, and we're supposed to be getting an Avengers Doomsday trailer. Now, mind you, I don't know if this is going to be the same trailer that they showed at CinemaCon early this year. What was that, April? I don't know if this is going to be the exact same trailer. So a lot of people who did go to CinemaCon, I'm actually going to go watch, whatever their trailer breakdowns is or whatever the case may be to see if this is the exact same thing that they saw. I'm expecting it to be a little bit different because I know from what everybody was saying who was at CinemaCon, they thought that trailer that they saw that was cut up and shown to them, they thought that would have been out very shortly after CinemaCon wrapped up. They thought it would have been maybe a week or two later. Mind you, that was April. We're all the way in mid-July now. So whatever we're getting next week, I'm very curious to see if this is the exact same trailer, if they inserted a little couple of things here or there. I just really am curious to see what they think about it when, the people from CinemaCon actually see this from Comic-Con. So I'm very curious about that as well. So we're supposed to be getting an Avengers Doomsday trailer. Mind you, that's going to be later in the week next week. At the beginning of the week, there's some other big news regarding, Avengers Doomsday. So we're supposed to be getting tickets Monday, this upcoming Monday. That is what is Monday's date? Let me go look at the calendar. So so July 20th. They're saying that we're supposed to be getting some kind of ticket drop for Avengers Doomsday. Now, from what I hear, these are not all the normal showings. This is kind of like how they did for the Odyssey. Like I explained to you guys, this is gonna be your premium showings. This is gonna be your IMAX, your Dolby, XD, Screen X. Like these are gonna be those screenings, not essentially just for your normal regular showtimes and stuff like that. I believe those are clearly going to be maybe like October time, maybe November time, because the movie releases in December. But this is going to be for your premium showings. Now, mind you, I try to see all of my big movies like this. I usually go to Cinemark XD because I've explained it plenty of times before. The city that I live in, we don't have a lot of good AMC theaters because if we did, I'd be an A-lister. I've said it plenty of times. I'd be a certified A-lister running the numbers up. But with me not having a lot of good AMC theaters here, we got two. I'm not a fan of either one of those. I'm usually a Cinemark guy. We have Regal in my city as well. I'm not a big Regal guy either. So I usually go see in Cinemark XD when it comes to movies like this. That is, like I said, a premium large format showing. So I'm going to be fighting people off Monday trying to get my tickets as well. So if you're like me, if you like to see movies in IMAX or like I said, XD, Screen X, whatever format you want to see it in, and it's a premium large format, you're going to want to go and be ready to get your tickets Monday. And I think I saw somewhere that they said that the tickets are actually releasing at 11 a.m. on Monday. Luckily for me, I'm off work Monday. I got a long weekend this weekend. I got a 4-day weekend, but I will have my fucking finger on Cinemark's app, 11 a.m. Eastern time. That is 11 a.m. Eastern time. So do the math for wherever you guys live or wherever you're listening to. I believe the tickets are dropping 11 o'clock Eastern time Monday. So you want to make sure you're prepared. Now, mind you, this is not when we're supposed to be getting the trailer. So we are getting the tickets released before we actually see the trailer. I know that usually doesn't work that way. We usually get a new trailer or like a second trailer or maybe sometimes even a final trailer where it'll say at the end, tickets available now. I'm sure that's still going to say that when we get that trailer later on in the week. But Monday, don't expect anything, at least from what I'm hearing. Don't expect anything to release Monday as far as any footage or any sneak peeks. Now, mind you, that's not impossible. We could possibly be getting that as well. I'm just saying, don't book it. Don't. And if you did think about it, if you are saying that, okay, we'll probably get something. We'll probably get some kind of showing or something like that. You didn't hear from me, so I could be wrong. I definitely could be, but I haven't heard anything that as far as like anything that we should expect as far as seeing anything from Doomsday on Monday. That is. So you want to make sure you're going to be prepared because, like I said, the Odyssey tickets. I did a whole segment on that a couple of weeks ago, or maybe like a month ago now, as far as like how crazy the internet went when those tickets dropped. I know AMC's website completely shut down. Fandango was hell trying to get tickets there. Luckily for me, as I keep stating, I'm a Cinemark guy. Cinemark didn't have crazy issues, but Cinemark definitely had crazy issues when those Spider-Man tickets dropped. So I don't know. This is the way to gauge it. I mean, like I said, all the like Fandango, AMC, and Cinemark, even though Cinemark didn't really crash for the Odyssey, it definitely did for Spider-Man. So this is going to be a good test to see like how big and what the demand is for Doomsday. Because I'm expecting, me personally, I'm expecting for the same thing, Cinemark, AMC, Fandango to be completely ran into shit on Monday. I'm expecting it. That's why I want to make sure I warn you guys and let you guys know. If you're interested in seeing Avengers Doomsday, like I am, and you want to see it on IMAX, Cinemark, whatever the case may be, you're going to want to be, you want to have your fucking finger on the dial, ready to go, 11 o'clock Eastern time, like I said, Eastern time. I don't know where else you guys live, do the math. But you want to make sure you're ready to go come Monday at 11. I know I will be. I hope you guys are as well. And there's another good tidbit that actually went along with all this news. We actually got an official, at least from what I'm hearing so far, an official runtime for Avengers. We're gonna go see Avengers, guys. Avengers Doomsday. So from what I'm hearing, the runtime is gonna be 2 hours and 45 minutes. Now I know a lot of people were running with the rumor that this is gonna be three hours and 30 minutes, like people were saying. To me, what my understanding is, I believe that's just whatever the current cut was at the time, but they actually are, shaving down a lot of the film to try to get it closer to that 2 hour and 45 minute mark. Because I'm assuming that's just what they want to, that's what they're dead set on, and getting it to 2 hours and 45 minutes. And another good way to gauge like how long a movie really is, because I'm assuming, I don't know for sure. I don't know anybody who's working on this film. I clearly don't know any of the actors, but I would assume this script, not only for Doomsday, I would assume for Secret Wars as well. I would assume this script is pretty fucking hefty. And usually a general, rule of thumb in Hollywood when it comes to filming a movie, when it comes to the script, one page of script for a film usually translates over to like a minute of screen time on a movie. So if you think about it from that standpoint, if we got a 2 hour 45 minute movie that, at least from what I'm hearing, got a lot shaved down and a lot cut out, because they're actually cutting the movie and obviously editing the movie now. This movie comes out in December. So I heard that there's a lot that they're cutting out of this film. So if they're cutting out a lot of this movie and we're still at 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is one of the longer movies in the MCU, I think I remember hearing regarding that runtime. If we're looking at that and they shaved off a shit ton, I can only imagine how crazy this script is. Because like I said, I'll say it again. Usually one page of the script usually translates to about a minute worth of screen time on a movie, and that's kind of how they know exactly what they're going to be looking at as far as runtime. So I can only imagine like how much shit we're not gonna see, how much that they actually filmed and we'll never get a chance to see as far as dialogue or character development, whatever the case may be, just because they shaved down so much. So I think that 3 hours and 30 minute or 40 minute, whatever people were seeing online, I'm pretty sure that's just people were going off of that just because that's how hefty the script was at the time. By the time we see this, from what I'm hearing, like I said, it's gonna be 2 hours 45. So they cut off literally down to an hour from what they filmed, and trying to get this into like some kind of, I'm not gonna speak on it. I did hear some other things involving, the making of this movie and like some of the issues it may be having. I'm not gonna say that because it was never proven to be fact or not. So I'm not even gonna get into it on my podcast. So I'll leave that for, if you guys are interested, you can go find it elsewhere. But I did hear there were some issues here or there just dealing with the script and some things being cut out and it's still looking cohesive to try to meet a specific runtime. So that was like a major thing as well going on the internet as far as the movie now being quote unquote confirmed to be 2 hours and 45 minutes. So there's a lot of shit that I just went over for Avengers Doomsday. I'm sure at the next week we'll know way more about the movie than we do now. I mean, we're getting tickets released. We're supposed to be getting trailer. Uh, San Diego Comic Con Hall H. I'm assuming Kevin Feige and maybe even some of the actors of the film will be there. But I'm assuming we were gonna get way more information for Avengers Doomsday because we've been pretty left in the dark. Every time we thought we were gonna get something, we didn't. We got shitted on as far as maybe like a what was it from whatever they did in London. It was a fucking, like, we thought we were getting a Doomsday trailer, but it ended up just being Doctor Doom themed coffee shop. Like, that whole fiasco, that whole thing that went on with the internet was fucking stupid. Y'all blew smoke up our ass for nothing. But next week we should have some concrete information about this movie. I cannot be more excited. I'm debating if I want to do a breakdown of San Diego Comic Con, like very similar to how I did for CinemaCon for you guys. So either way it goes, I'm gonna get a lot of information from that, and I'll probably end up doing that. To be completely honest, I just haven't really nailed it to the wall yet if I'm gonna do that or not. But I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up doing it. But yeah, we should have a lot more information about not only Avengers Doomsday, but like a lot of other movies next week. So it's gonna be a very interesting week for us nerds leaving San Diego Comic Con. But that's pretty much all I got to say about Avengers Doomsday. Like I said, the tickets should be releasing. Well, not no should be. They're saying that we're for sure getting tickets next Monday for the premium large format movies, all the PLFs. So make sure you're ready if you're interested in seeing this movie. I'll be there. I hope you guys will be there getting your tickets and get them secured as well, because this is going to be another big movie this year, kind of like what the Odyssey just was. So I'm really excited about that. But anyway, I want you guys to go down in the comments and let me know what you think. Are you guys going to be scooping some tickets for Monday? Are you guys going to be getting one ticket, two, three? What format are you looking for? Are you going to see it in XD like me? Are you going to see... I actually just learned the other day, funny enough, just to go on a little tangent. All my AMC guys, there's a format at the AMC theaters called the Big D. Yeah, I never heard of that before, but once I looked it up, I was like, okay, I've never seen a movie in the big. I've never experienced the Big D before, but that's a little that's a little different. Never heard of that one before, but I thought that was funny as hell. But anyway, what format are you guys planning on seeing Avengers Doomsday in, and what tickets are you gonna try to get on Monday? I'm very curious to know. But anyway, that's my show for today. There's a lot that happened in film. There's actually a lot that I didn't even get a chance to talk to you guys about. Just because this has been, I got outside the podcast, I got a life I'm living as well. So I'm not able to talk to you guys about everything that I see in theaters. I didn't get a chance to give you guys my Supergirl review. I didn't get a chance to give you guys my review for The Invite, which is an amazing film as well. Go see that if you guys are, want to go see something that's maybe not the Odyssey. Please go see The Invite. That movie was everything I hoped it was going to be and more. But yeah, so that's a lot of things that I actually didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about. Hopefully, after this week, there's going to be way more to talk about because, like I said, San Diego Comic Con is right around the corner. So, there's going to be a lot of shit to come on this podcast. Kick the can around and we can have some good conversations. But anyway, that's my show for today. I appreciate you guys, as usual, coming and listening to the show and leaving feedback and just being interested in film because I love talking about film with you guys. I can't explain it enough. And I also want to say, hey, if you guys, like I said before, if you guys have a Threads account, please go on Threads and follow me there. Leave a like and subscribe here. Like, I really want to build this channel and build a real community just from people that love film so we could all just get together and talk about this shit. And we're not just, sitting alone somewhere and don't really have any outlet to get that out. That's really what this podcast is really about. That's why I wanted to start it. So please like and subscribe to my channel here. Go follow me on Threads so we can talk film there as well. But anyway, I'm going to really wrap this podcast up here now because I got to go edit this and get this out at a specific time for you guys. So that's my show for today. Appreciate you guys as usual. And until next time, peace.